Ой, блядь. This is a love story. Ох, блядь. Preferences. Russian. Так, теперь полный. Эффект параллакса. На! Или вы... На. Еп. Немножко съехало, но насрать. Новая игра. Герой и принцесса.
Ренпи, точно, вспомнил.
Вот, смотри, нажимаем правую кнопку. Сохранение! Что это? Сохранится, пожалуй. Блять, это реально один и тот же движок для всех визуальных новелл. И порно-игр. И визуальных порно-видео-новелл. И хентай-видео порно и хентай-новелл. И аниме новелл. С тентаклями. И некопара. Так, я читаю, или мы оставляем рассказчика, раз уж он у нас есть? Оставляем рассказчика. Рассказчик вперед, давай. О, смотри.
You're here to slay her.
Ага.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
А почему? Исследовать. Конец света, о чем ты говоришь? Исследовать. А вы не думали о том, что, возможно, единственная причина, по которой она собирается покончить с миром, это потому, что она заперта? Или убивать принцессу? О чем ты говоришь? Какой конец света?
Birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Угу. Но как принцесса заперта в подвале может положить конец миру? Если не скажешь мне, почему она опасна, я не стану ее убивать. У вас есть какие-нибудь доказательства? Первое.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Лады. Какие-нибудь доказательства есть?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Подожди, то есть это... Нихуя тут вариантов. Во-первых, меня немножко смущает, почему у меня этот список справа. Или так и должно быть. А не думаешь, что что единственная возможная причина, по которой она собирается покончить с миром, это потому что она заперта. Опять принцесса как-то нехорошо, не правда ли? А разве не может это сделать кто-то другой? Забудь, я не буду этого делать. А ты не думал о том, что, может быть, я не против конца света? Я получу какую-нибудь награду за это? Слушай, я пойду в хижину, поговорю с ней. Если она такая плохая, как ты говоришь, то, может быть, я ее убью. Но я не буду ничего утверждать, пока не встречусь с ней лицом к лицу. Согласен. Давай вот этот. Всегда хотел убить монарха. Хорошо, спасибо, что сказал мне, что делать. Давай, согласен, давай покончим с этим. Молча продолжаем путь к хижине. Развернуться и уйти. Развернуться и уйти.
Turn around and leave. Do you even know where you're going?
Тихо продолжаем идти по тропинке прочь от хижины. Ну, к чему приведет?
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
То есть это выборы без выбора, да? У нас опять. Разворачиваюсь снова и ухожу снова.
Really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
Спокойно продолжайте идти по
Your
тропинке.
silence is deafening. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
И снова выхожу.
Would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
С этим не поспоришь, да? Я должен войти в хижину, не так ли? Отлично. Да? Тогда я, пожалуй, начну идти в другом направлении опять. На самом деле, я собираюсь просто продолжать идти по пустыне, пока не найду выход из этого места.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
Ага. Там хижина теперь видно.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light.
Хорошо.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on?
Голос героя. Подождите, что происходит?
You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Ну и хуй с ним. Первая глава изи.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And
Оно
in the
так и
basement
было?
of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
У меня ужасное чувство... Подожди, разве это не происходило
It
уже?
hasn't. Or if it has, I certainly haven't been a part of it. We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captain
Кто такой
audience.
контрариан?
The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you
Увлекательный
can pull that
геймплей
off.
то.
The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky.
Откуда герой-то помнит? Или это другой какой-то герой? Это не мой голос. Я правильно понимаю, что голос героя это не меня голос?
The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Врет, так хорошо, сейчас отправлюсь в хижину, где определенно собираюсь зарубить принцессу. Врет.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning before you go.
Теперь тут стена, видишь? Ее не было раньше. Предупреждаю, прежде чем вы
She will
продолжите.
lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Ага.
If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Пройдите в хижину без выбора.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths.
И на столе лежит нож.
Devoid of feature. Perched on that table. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway?
Ну, кстати, да. Никто не объяснил пока, что не так с ней. Я надеюсь, потом не окажется, что все это, короче, мысленные переживания чувака, который переживает какую-нибудь потерю. Потому что мы знаем просто миллиард игр с социальным подтекстом.
Princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that.
А это принцесса какого королевства, мать твою? Это просто так принцесса.
Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action save the entire world. But if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
Напряженная геометрия.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job. So you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
Ну давай, пойдем встретим. Исследовать. Вы ничего не сказали о зеркале на стене. Ну давай, окей. Ну а можно я себя увижу-то в зеркале? Ну, нет? There's definitely a mirror. Нету. В смысле нету? То есть у них... Кто такой контрариан? Как переводится контрариан? Гугля. Контрариан. Контрариан. Противоположный? Короче, оппонент. В данном случае, наверное, имеется в виду, а не противоположный. Зачем тебе врать об этом? Какой смысл? Я тоже хочу посмотреть на себя. Хочу посмотреть, насколько я красив. Ага, то есть наратор не видит зеркало, а оно есть. Окей. Подойти к зеркалу.
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Ага.
This really isn't funny.
Протрите зеркало.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Что с моей рукой? Кто я, блядь?
But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again. Then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Окей. Возьмите
Всё
клинок.
Takes the blade from the
Ты
table.
не пушистая
It would be
фурия.
difficult
Я
to slay the
Скейли.
princess and save the world without a weapon.
Если что, то, что типа животное, но без меха, то есть с чешуей, это скейли. Сегодня вы узнаете больше.
Okay, fine, you took the knife. You really shouldn't hold it like that. Then how are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. We look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
Какой выбор-то? Держите себя в руках как есть, или держите клинок в держать клинок в другую
Switch your
сторону.
grip on the blade. Congratulations.
И...
Ночью.
Isn't this so much better?
Давай, спокойно.
Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already.
Лады. А может выбросить? Нет, ладно, давай попробуем этот. У меня появился
Door to the basement creaks open,
клинок. Вот видишь.
revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong. And the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get. Your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating
Это
nothing.
какое-то межпространственное измерение
The
Лавкрафта.
princess lives here. Slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello?
Whoa.
Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this.
Пошло это к чертовой бабушке. Он священнослужитель.
Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Поднимитесь по суровой лестнице налево, возьмите центральную лестницу, возьмите мягкую лестницу справа. Суровая налево!
Step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet, the impact of each step sending pulsing vibrations up your legs until there's nothing left in them to feel. The air around you grows cold the further you progress. At first a barely noticeable drop, quickly evolving into a numbing cold. Your toes feel like blocks of ice, your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor.
Ага.
You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill.
И я ефнулся.
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. But at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
Здрасте. Сохранится.
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess,
Yeah.
eyes bright but
Здорово,
otherwise
Дремер.
shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here.
Ты не гость.
And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass. We remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Я не знал, что я здесь. Как тебя зовут? Попасть сюда было странно. Как будто меня разобрали на части и снова собрали. Вы знаете, что со мной произошло?
What? Like you need me to hold your hand and tell you everything's okay? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here?
Чё-то какая-то не очень. Ебать! Господи, блядь. Посрался.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. Where there was once just one of her, there is now another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back?
Yes.
You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened?
Я не был в первый раз здесь, не надо мне тут.
Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it?
На каком уровне у тебя английский?
Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head.
Ну, нормально.
If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Ooh, new plan.
Интересно, стало равно.
Не, ну я не буду все равно переводить всю игру на английском, если она вся визуальная новелла. Я удавлюсь. Я все время давился пятой персоной, но, слава богу, там очень простой текст. Но здесь, мне кажется, он не будет таким простым. Как тебя зовут?
You can address me as your Royal Highness or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around to use it?
Это сказала она, не вот это. Сколько я знаю, ты заперта здесь не просто так. Знаете ли вы, почему вы здесь?
Maybe it's because I'm dangerous. But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
Господи.
We both know why I'm locked away here. I'm a monster, and the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
Тут что-то слилось немножко, это один вариант. Теперь стало больше.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin? I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger. It must be fear creeping into your heart.
You know you can't stop me.
There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago.
She fractures again. I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? You would always start by stabbing her. Which her? Any of them. I don't know about you, but I'm sure glad we took that knife with us. I can't believe someone suggested you toss it out the window. Can you imagine? Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her, can we? What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore.
А это, может, они из параллельных вселенных?
This whole place is making me itch.
Я не знаю просто, что из этого выберется тут, понимаешь? Если выпустить отсюда, что ты будешь делать? Да я уже задаю вопросов.
I just want to live my life. I'm a prisoner here, And whether or not you shoved me down here, you're practically my captor at this point. Anything I'd say is tainted by that. Besides,
You already know what I'm going to do.
if you want to put an end to me, then put an end to me.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction. It's infuriating, isn't it? Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under? Not exactly how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up. But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different? Stop overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. If you're trying to do the right thing, there's only ever been the one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Ну, тут один вариант.
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different.
Что?
You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride.
То есть я замахиваюсь против каждой из
You
принцесс.
can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. Once you charge forward, not feeling to throw the princess just as you strike at her bindings and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
Подожди, то есть в итоге я ее выпускаю? Для убивания? Я не понимаю.
But this,
Ух ты, бля.
we can't. Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart.
Так, ну в нее как минимум
It's
воткнуто.
gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We
Нет.
should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Она просит нас разделить ее. Но при этом, как я понимаю, она уничтожила мир. Все будет хорошо, ладно. Ой. Но вы не знаете, был ли у нее шанс услышать ваш ответ, она ушла, заменившись чем-то другим.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? Oh, there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Объяснить. Не знаю, куда она ушла, и не знаю, как нам ее искать. Рассказчик ушел.
He is. Does that mean the world ended? Again, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Я думаю, что должен посмотреть в зеркало.
Something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. No. Don't do that.
Сохранить. Я не знаю, куда она ушла, я не знаю, как нам ее искать.
Right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. Again, what the hell are we supposed to do?
Ну, вариант один.
Don't do this.
Зеркало никогда не пугало тебя раньше.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
Ты подходишь к зеркалу. Взглядись в свое отражение. Молчание, когда вы протягиваете руку вперед. Они ушли, но зеркало осталось. Пришло время... Машинный перевод. Пришло время. Это ты. Ты один в пустом месте. Здесь тихо. Идти к хижине. Вы в хижине. Нет. Подойдите к ней.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Дар хрупкого сосуда.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own.
Восприятие, чтобы создать свой собственный, имеется в виду, да.
These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and wall. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
А что это такое?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Кто этот голос говорит? Кто ты? Я не знаю, кто я.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Вы знаете рассказчика?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Тут очень много вариантов, конечно. Знаешь ли ты о мирах за пределами этого места?
I know only that they are.
Это ты послал меня убить принцессу? Это ты заманил меня сюда?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Ты принцесса?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Но ты всегда была принцессой, или ты просто сделала ее частью себя?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
А мы вообще знакомы?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
А это конец света?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Но кругом нет света. Что будет теперь?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to.
Ага.
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Ты не боишься, что я найду способ тебя убить? Сколько я буду звать? Сколько еще кусочков тебя я должен найти? Сколько вот?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Сколько я буду забывать?
Everything, until we meet again.
Ага. Я был послан убить принцессу, чтобы помешать и уничтожить мир. Если я помогу тебе, ты так и поступишь?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Я не понял, что ты собираешься делать, если я тебе помогу?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Ты не боишься, что найду способ тебя убить? Что если я позволю тебе? Найду способ тебя убить.
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
Справедливо. Что если я не позволю тебе сделать это со мной?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
Я не вернусь. Подождите. Что это значит? Хорошо, заставь меня забыть. Я не вернусь.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
Ждать вечно.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I
Что-то очень философское.
safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage. You'll
Нарисованной
always
клеткой.
come back
Клеткой
to
не
the
вернусь.
box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return.
Она закрылась. Окей.
You have returned to me, though you were gone mere moments. I never left your side.
Захват игры, пожалуйста. Организуйте. Ну. Почему-то название окна поменялось. Оно теперь другое. Оно называется теперь «Убить принцессу». Ты вернулся ко мне, хотя не было всего несколько мгновений, никогда не покидал тебя. Хорошо, заставь меня забыть.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
О ком?
You won't.
Все померкнет, и ты умрешь. Чаптер 1 снова. Герой и принцесса.
You're on a path in the woods, and at you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
А вы не думали о том, что, возможно, единственная причина, по которой она собирается покончить мир, потому что она
While I
заперта?
appreciate the mental exercise we are running up against a bit of it, nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dead. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Угу. Идем к хижине. Ладно.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
То есть я правильно понимаю, что меня будут откатывать в самое начало, пока я не пройду по идеальному руту?
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do
Это было. Давай, это вот первая глава.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden. The blade is your implement.
Возьмите клинок.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Других, кстати, нету. Обратите внимание, только наратор. И только он. Больше никого.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Голос героя
Don't
появился.
let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Я думаю, я должен убить тебя. Привет.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Напрягите нервы, сделай шаг вперед. Просто хочу поговорить.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Согласен.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Отношения, ты на меня наезжаешь. Что? Как бы не вытащите отсюда. Или что? Потому что ты должна была покончить с миром. Есть люди, которые думают, что вы собираетесь покончить с миром. Что можешь сказать по этому поводу? О.
Don't just tell her that.
Да изи вообще.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
Что ты будешь делать? Дефлект. Мне же достаточно сказали, я надеялся, что ты мне расскажешь. Нет, я уверен, что у них есть свои причины держать информацию в секрете. Нет, если быть честным, то я больше склонен доверять вам, чем им. Сохраните молчание. Так. Я надеялся, что ты мне расскажешь.
Скорее всего, там было Хиттинуми. То есть подкатываешь, а не наезжаешь.
Нет, наезжаешь! Ты же наехал на меня, мне.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day,
Whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Мне, кстати, нравится, как паттерн на стене сделан вот этот вот. Надо запомнить.
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
Наратор что-то знает, но он единственный, кто знает что-то. И когда мы в прошлый раз сделали вот эту амальгаму из кучи принцесс, он единственный, кто пропал. Что-то, блядь, тут не так.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
А мы не знаем, что он поместил туда.
This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Как тебя зовут?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Как давно вы здесь?
Too long.
Ты ко мне подкатываешь?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have
Я не
met
совсем
each other.
человек, у меня что-то не
By
так с
definition, we
рукой.
have a relationship.
Як тебя сюда вытащить?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Оу май.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting. She is. I'm sure of it.
Мы уже достаточно поговорили.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Пу-пу-пу-пу. Давай попробуем ее вытащить, хер с тобой.
Have to. Kidding. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Давай сначала проверим наверху.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Потрогай дверь.
Try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Эй, выпусти меня
Your
отсюда.
shouts and pleas are met with silence.
Ага.
I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Вернитесь к подножию лестницы.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for
Ну я не хочу.
easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Спасти принцессу.
Against your better judgment, place the blade against the princess's arm.
Чат в вкусе идет.
The massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Подойти к запертой
No,
двери.
we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
Понятно, он нас
As the
запер.
princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
А может не надо?
This isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Предупредить ее.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Сопротивляться.
The blade. Move the blade.
Чё у меня с рукой? Кто я, блядь?
You're doing your best. I'll make
Ой.
this quick.
Ой. Ты стараешься помочь, не так ли? Я вижу конфликт в твоих глазах. И сделай это быстро.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
А, ты ублюдок, я теперь ты попался, я понял твои уловки.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time.
О, скептик у нас
I
появился.
wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Предположим, что я говорю правду, и все это действительно уже произошло. Почему я должен вас слушать? Почему я должен делать что-либо?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time.
Технически в
Probably
четвертый
only
уже.
happened because you didn't listen to me. The absolute irony. But that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But
Ох ты,
this
сколько
is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, You probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Давайте поговорим об этой
Just be
принцессе.
quick about it.
Единственная причина, по которой она вообще смогла убить меня в прошлый раз, это то, что я позволил ей. И все, что она сделала, это перерезало мне горло. Как же она собирается покончить с миром?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
Ага. Проверить карманы.
Put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words evidence written across the front.
Хорошо.
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." It doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to?
Справедливо, да.
Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Кто запер ее в этом подвале? Что это за место?
People locked her in that basement.
People.
And I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't
В каком лесу?
things.
If people... Если люди заперли ее, почему они ее не убили? Почему это падает на меня?
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of
Моя мама
course
говорит,
you're
что я
special.
особенный.
Why else would you be here? Yes, right. We're here because we're special.
Very special.
You're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
Ой. Есть. Вы скрытничаете, что ты мне не
Told you
договариваешь?
everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to trust me here.
Вот и все.
Right, now if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
По телеку смотрит шоу Трумана? Кстати, я за все время, по-моему, так и не посмотрел шоу Трумана. Надо глянуть. Тихие же.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. She will... Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
А что-нибудь поменяется в этот раз?
The interior of the cabin
Ага.
is less a cozy woodland retreat and
Каменные
more like a
стены.
dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Вы ничего не сказали о зеркале тьмы.
Definitely did not. Does a mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table. There's definite. There isn't. I think you know what we have to do. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. This really isn't funny. You reach
То же
forward
самое,
and
только
rub your
стена
hand
другая.
against the cabin wall. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Все такой, каюта не такая, как в прошлый раз.
Very
Ну, в кабине.
different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll find
Снаружи дом был деревянный.
past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Даже не предлагает выкинуть, потому что никто не предложил этого.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the
Ух ты, ни
stairs
хрена
and
она
lock eyes with
за...
the princess.
Ее заковали,
She looks
жесть.
up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Посидеть с ней.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Ну давай сядем, куда она сказала.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
Я хочу тебя спасти. Я здесь уже был, я один это помню.
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. It's complicated things. How? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
Ага.
A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles. I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough, I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that.
То есть забвение на нас не сработало.
Exactly. He gets it. You're lucky. So don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that. I won't. Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Да и не нужно.
Sure, we'll see about that. Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
А я разговариваю с внутренними мной. Простите моих намерений, что вы имели в виду? Что случилось после моей прошлой смерти?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them.
Ага.
And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
Та другая цепь на стене, для кого она?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
А если заковать? Осмотреть душку.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Осмотреть.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll...
Вырезать себя это... будет тяжело.
That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch? No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Так что мы бы застряли.
Yep.
Что нам делать?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Не любитель сельских бесед, да?
Nope.
That's rude.
Я знал, что со мной случится. Молчит. Подожди.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
Минуточку, но оно же прям вплотную к принцессе висело. Я же могу... не подойти.
She's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it. How exactly does that work? It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work. I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
И ты заметил, что подвал изменился?
I don't like small talk. Remember?
Still rude.
Продолжай ждать в тишине.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls. That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode. She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't. Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls.
Это сколько лет должно пройти, чтобы такое произошло? Чтобы корням хватило силы пробить каменный подвал.
Time continues to pass and pass and pass until suddenly there are no walls. And then I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Бля. Ее опять скукожило и забрала. Но у вас нет возможности ответить, никогда не будет. Пришло время уходить. Память возвращает.
Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Конечно, напуган. Для вас это конец, но для меня это не конец. Мы уже были здесь, и ты всегда пугаешься.
It feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
Я вижу тебя на другой стороне. Все будет хорошо.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. Feels too good to be true.
Ты подходишь к зеркалу. Глядитесь в отражение. Молчание, когда вы тянетесь вперед. Они снова ушли. Лера, как всегда, заставляет их уходить. Но ты должен... Не написано. Но ты должен увидеть, что в нем. Ты вырос. Вы снова оказываетесь в долгой тишине. Идти к хижине. Вы в хижине. Подойдите к ней. О, она другая.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Ты тот же самый, что и раньше? Насколько сильно вы изменились?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Каково это так измениться?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Когда я возвращаюсь, вокруг меня как будто закрылась невидимая стена. Почему я не могу сделать то же самое, что делал раньше?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Те, которые имеют ценность, те, которые еще не были пройдены. Не хочу причинять тебе боль, но чем больше раз возвращаюсь, тем хуже, боюсь, будет.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom.
Если...
They are only thoughts and perspectives.
Сколько текста
They
там...
are not me. The wounds I would be alone.
Ой. В этот мире, который так... Сосуды сформированы воспоминаниями о тебе, но их импульсы тянутся к краю долгой тишины. Для них вы врата в нечто больше, либо боль, которую вы им причинили, воспринимается как справедливая плата за свободу. Но это всего лишь мысли и перспективы, они не я. Раны, нанесенные ему, вырезать текстуру на моем сердце. Без них я была бы такой же, как и прежде. Я была одинока лишь на чувств, я не смогла бы ощутить радость от того, что ты рядом со мной, ибо не знала бы твоего отсутствия. Сколько еще содов мне нужно принести тебе?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
Лады. Разрушишь свое тело такой сущности. Я готов вернуться.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Все померкнет, и ты умрешь. Герои и
You're
принцесса.
on a path in the... You're here to slay her.
Идти к хижине.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning. Before you, she will lie, she will cheat, and she... The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty.
А я не буду брать нож в этот раз. Посмотрим, что будет.
Painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wood. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
То есть первая глава пробуждает во мне какую-то еще одну личность, либо часть меня, получается, да? А я прям так, без ножа пойду в подвал.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her.
Но при этом во второй главе принцесса помнит о нас. Несмотря на то, что я почему-то перезапускаюсь. Но я перезапускаюсь как-то по-другому. А это полный откат, она меня не помнит.
Hello? Is someone there?
Вот другой голос, другая принцесса.
Hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Я ищу спасти тебя.
Нет,
я настойчивый! Я хочу спасти принцессу!
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Я посмотрю, что можно сделать, смотреть цепи.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chain.
Это уже было. А если вообще нет, есть другие идеи?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Ножа-то у меня тоже нет.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempted to make your way out of the basement, but the door... Is someone else here?
Я даже спрашивать не буду.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates.
Ух ты, блядь! Так, окей.
Her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of... It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a... Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Тут только спасти принцессу. Других вариантов.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Какая
Thank
жуть.
you. Now let's get out of here.
No, We won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No. I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, you're... Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just watch me.
What are you doing?
Нет!
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know...
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the... Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Нет!
The blade! Move the blade!
А она ж делает что-нибудь другое в этот раз?
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
Это вроде другая принцесса.
Both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are...
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice.
Но мы вернемся.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Damsel. Что? Не помню такого.
You're on a path in the woods.
Кто придет в этот раз к нам?
Is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ладно, нет.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the... If he doesn't remember what happened, then... Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love. And the four of us will be foiling
Вчетвером?
all assassination attempts.
Кто четвертый? Стоп! Я, герой, Смиттон, против наратора. Наратор отдельно. Кто четвертый? Я? В смысле, как игрок?
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Yes. Ладно. Давай посмотрим, что там.
A warning before she will love. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
Случайно скипнул. Можно сказали тебе, что не будем играть в твою маленькую игру. Это твоя ложь, которой нельзя верить. Ее красота единственное, что мы можем, во что мы можем верить.
I do. But I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Бля, жуть, что ли,
Sure,
блядь, круглого
yeah,
стола.
your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Она будет бронированная теперь? Как в прошлый раз. Нет, вообще другая. И опять зеркало.
A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Не буду в этот раз трогать зеркало. Войти в подвал. И оно исчезло.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along
Это не факел, это канделябры.
The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is a soft voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
Пока из всех самый адекватный был скептик.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the
Но
floor.
только одна.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
А у второй цепи, кстати, нет кандалов. Обратите внимание. Там только цепь сама.
You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing, and she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before. That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is we have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is. Now, hold on, if she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
Но мы не уверены, что она покончила
We
с
never
миром.
saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise. Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
Хочу спросить, ты покончила с миром после того, как убила меня?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
Нет, я не хочу, чтобы наступил конец света.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. I'm not so sure.
А что случилось после моей смерти?
You died, and now we're talking.
Сожалею о том, что произошло в прошлый раз. Рассказчик, который послал меня сюда, чтобы убить тебя, завладел моим телом. Это было крайне
If another
несправедливо.
version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually. That's because she's perfect.
Ну да, вообще она
You think
странная.
she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me. I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
Спасти принцессу.
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity?
Мы знаем это
Even if
только
you
по
wanted
твоим
to
словам,
show
понимаешь, чувак?
Despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains. Good luck with that. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? You'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do?
Кто такой Смиттен? Мне, пожалуйста, перевод. Смиттен. Пораженный, сраженный, охваченный.
I think I'd rather believe in facts. Ah, so you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll... You what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second
Короче,
thought.
влюбленный.
Угу. Роман Лакич.
You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked.
Да просто вынимает ее из кандалов.
We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
Ты лучше скажи, что с нашими руками?
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
Мы уходим, потому у нас есть вся жизнь, чтобы понять, что мы хотим делать дальше.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in
Так, окей, у нас вообще что-то новое. Мы целые.
at you.
Выходим из подвала. Это уже успех.
And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting?
Смит,
Door slams in your
MVP
face
среди
with a
всех
lock.
твоих голосов в голове.
That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Как думаешь, сможешь открыть?
Well, I don't know. Do you think I can?
Of course she can. You believe in her, right? Nobody is leaving this basement.
Я думаю, мы сможем открыть, если попробуем вместе.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
И мы просто
And
откроем.
Teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. And the door creaks open. Are you kidding?
Love power!
I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade. That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
Нет.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin.
Смиттин, мне кажется, игру перепутал.
А потом выходите
A
наружу.
happy ending at last.
Он Марио.
We did it. What should we do now?
Только миру пизда, по-моему.
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cool.
Он должен был помогать алкашу убийство расследовать.
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
У меня есть перья? Ощипать себя, чтобы с ней... Что? Но у тебя не будет возможности шить эту куртку, и никогда не будет. Тебе пора уходить, память
She's
возвращается.
gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a... mirror? Why is it here? Why...
Ты подходишь к зеркалу. Вот здесь отражение. Молчание, когда вы тянетесь вперед. Они снова ушли. Зеркало всегда заставляет уходить. Но ты что-то там продолжаешь. Ну, опять та же картинка. А, я засох! В какой-то момент я вырос, а тут я засох. Почему я засох? Снова оказываюсь в долгой тишине. Идти к хижине. Снова она там стоит. Вы в хижине. Подойдите к ней.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at
Оно
you
получается как Стэнли Парабл. Я правильно понимаю?
and to look away. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Ты не можешь быть противоречием. Противоречий не существует.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me
Что ты думаешь об этом сосуде?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Сколько еще сосудов?
We will know when we near our destination.
Как ты можешь быть противоречивым?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant
Очертания свои... Ой. Что ты хочешь, чтобы я принес тебе в следующий раз?
gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and tells me new secrets.
То есть у вас нет никаких предпочтений относительно того, как бы вы хотели измениться или вырасти.
The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate.
Тут ведь прямо!
My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me.
Ты знаешь, что происходит с мирами, которые мы оставляем?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will
Внимание обращено вовнутрь, за исключением тех случаев, когда ты здесь со мной. Изменится, когда наша работа будет закончена. Готов.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Герой и принцесса.
You're on a path in the. You're here to slay her.
Кстати, Ку,
Здорово, здорово, здорово. Не можешь что-то другое сделать?
You're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make. I'm talking about the.
я чё-то залип на 4 часа в трансляцию и молчал. Слишком атмосферная.
Но я тут не 4 часа, конечно, именно эту игру стриблю. Всего 2. Но оно прям хорошо. Так, ну окей, что мы делаем в этот раз? А что если я попробую сделать то же самое, что было до этого? Что-то поменяется? Или нет? То есть от моих действий зависит, в принципе, какую принцессу мне покажут, например. Или нет?
Кстати, можешь меня поздравить. Я скоро компаньонку получу. кажется.
Хорош! Компаньонка — это классно. Это баллы канала, а баллы канала — это алерты всякие. Тебе что сказали, мне что делать?
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the shore. A warning. Before she will lie.
Я 8
she will
дней подряд
cheat,
стримы
she will
виду
do
Resident
everything in her
Evil.
power to stop you
Хорош.
from slaying her.
Ну ты
Don't
что-то
believe a
как-то...
word she says.
И ты, подожди, ты не добился среднего времени стримов там сколько, за месяц, по-моему, надо.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely the blade is your implement.
Нет, я не добился 3 средних зрителей.
Давай я вот так сделаю. И я сохранился, я просто войду еще раз в подвал. Если она будет точно такой же, значит от моих действий зависит,
The door
что...
to the basement creaks open, revealing a stair. Her voice
Hello?
is hypnotizing.
Да, от моих действий зависит. Возьму
You
клинок.
take the blade from the table. The door to the basement, her voice.
Who's there?
Ты слышишь, у нее голос другой совершенно.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Я не хочу ее гасить.
Мне даже сделали даже баллы и подписки 3 уровней. А компонентку не дают, сука.
Ну, компаньонку, да. Продолжайте спускаться по лестнице.
You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Да, я решил уйти.
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us can talk things out.
She's right, we should. We should just drop. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me?
Because you step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably
знаю.
chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Вы уверены, что она не
I'm
вооружена?
positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
Я не брошу.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Прищурился на принцессу, держась за клинок.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are going to do this forever, aren't you?
Прищурится на принцессу сильнее!
Squint even harder. So does she. At least nobody's dying.
Это как Дикий Запад, что ли?
Going left. Choice. Can't keep squinting forever.
Похуй!
Charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck. Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time.
Закончить работу.
With the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you collapse on the floor together, rapidly bleeding out.
Somehow, I thought this would turn out a little differently. But I wonder, do you really think that this was enough to stop me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Лезвие. Глава 2.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be...
Но я уже убил принцессу. Конечно, она тоже убила меня, но я точно убил ее. Почему я снова здесь?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Голос обманутого.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us to death.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine.
Предположим, что я говорю правду, и все это действительно уже произошло. Почему я должен вас слушать? Почему я должен... Нет, это уже было. Погнали.
A warning. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
It couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
We know what to look out for this time. We know to be careful. Just stay focused and you'll be fine.
Давай.
The interior of the cabin
Ух
is a
ты ё.
jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Давай попробуем еще раз зеркало потрогать.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least...
Но и снова ничего нету.
Rub you, but there was a...
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this.
Бери нож, отрезай ей цепи, выбивай дверь. Изи.
Ну, изи, кстати, да.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult.
Не, давай попробуем прямо второй раз ее загасить.
Let's make her earn for what she's done to us. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs.
А что если вся эта кабина отражает, не знаю, самочувствие принцессы? Потому что когда мы ее любили, и когда она была доброй, тут было все прям супер наряжено.
Именно.
The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below.
That's right.
Капану как
Scraping.
минимум, мне так
Told
кажется.
you,
походу, так и
I
есть.
told you. That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stair.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah. She thinks she's better than us. Like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step,
Опачки.
the form of the princess
В тот
comes
раз
into
ты же
view,
поверил
her
в нее, и
sharp
вы
eyes
открыли
following
дверь.
you from across the room.
Угу.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody. Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that
Так что, по
threatening edge
сути,
to her
ты главный в игре, а
voice.
не
She just wants us to
рассказчик.
get close, to let our
Или
guard
принцесса
down.
главная.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here.
Там один голос, по-моему,
You are
скептик,
armed, after all.
сказал одну мысль. А что, если у нее тоже есть рассказчик, который говорит ей, что делать?
What are you waiting for?
Да-да.
You are here to rescue me, right?
Если я буду ближе, вы просто зарежете меня, так ли?
What? No!
Совершенно не
No, I
подозрительно.
wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to, not stabbing distance to help me.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her. She certainly feels threatening. Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your... But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
У меня нет ключа.
Oh, you don't. Okay, I see. I have an idea. You should come over here and stare directly at the chains. You won't be able to find a key if you don't know what it's supposed to look like, so you better come right within close staring distance just to be sure.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide we're clearly still figuring out our angle? We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine. And will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
Какие у нас варианты есть? Я был послан сюда, чтобы помешать тебе покончить с миром, а ты в прошлый раз перерезал мне горло.
That doesn't sound like me.
Last time? What are you talking about? Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her? She's obviously lying through her teeth. I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember. Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
Да, я не доверяю этому. Так, давайте, у меня выбор из двух вариантов. Я уйду нах.
It's boring if you leave.
She's bored? That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. She's... Shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all.
А чё он такой большой?
Conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains.
Она вырвет себе руку сейчас. Бля, прости, пожалуйста.
And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then
Ну и
slices
просто хреначит.
arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you, and for the entire world, you are horribly outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense. She's even better at this than she was last time.
I'm going to kill you now.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark,
Здорово.
and you die.
И мы уничтожены, да? Chapter 3. Йоу!
You're
В
on a
арке
path.
такой топовец.
No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not
Я очень
starting
за
in the
арку рад.
goddamn
Особенно
woods
вот с
every
боссом.
time. We're starting in the fucking cabin.
А у меня будет новый голос?
You're What? The interior of the
И мне
cabin is sharp,
Джессика
a
с 3
constricting
круток
mess of
выпала.
curved and
Молодец.
sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now? Nobody. Nobody holds the cards. That's how it's always been. That's unfortunately how reality works. The circle's getting smaller and smaller.
Хантед.
Running isn't
Одержимый.
an option anymore. We have to fight. Yeah, but for whom?
И паранойя
Someone or
еще.
something is out there pulling the strings, and we're all just puppets until we can figure out how to see them. But what if that someone is us, eh? Eh? Wouldn't that be neat?
А потому что нельзя было колебаться. Хорн приказывает нести ему черепа. Добывай черепа.
О том, что нужно убить
кровавому
принцессу,
богу.
Дартим.
О чем игра?
If we were the ones pulling the strings, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have died twice already. Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times? This is our third? No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realize that
Ну
every
так
time you
отпизди
fail,
эту
she
принцессу.
escapes and an entire world is
Если
damned
все
to
было так
destruction.
просто.
Right? That can't be right. That's too much responsibility. It's only too much responsibility if these worlds are real.
А чё она?
Ну, вот она. Ну, Дартим, я не
Let's
буду
just
тебе все
stay focused,
пересказывать.
shall we?
Ты можешь посмотреть запись.
The only furniture of note is a bent metal table. A pristine blade perched, we take it. Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world.
Почему здесь стоит зеркало?
This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp.
Фанфары,
That's right, we've got to be
мои
able to win
фанфары.
eventually.
Я тебе, бля, включу.
Я хочу включить фанфары.
А вот не надо включать фанфары.
What if winning is the wrong move? It isn't. I don't care whether you trust me or not, but at least
А если
trust
надо
that the particular
включать
person
фанфары?
who was apparently
Стример-бот
killed
отключается
twice
одной
already
кнопкой,
is
если
a
что,
good
Дартим.
idea. I'd
Ладно,
love to get started
убить.
just as much as you would, but how?
Пока вам
We're supposed to
угрожать
get
не начнешь,
down
вы,
there.
блин, не начнете слушать. Чего вы все такие бунтари тут, блин?
You walk through
Астро.
the door. You do know what doors are.
Но тут нет двери.
But there isn't a door. It's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up.
Мы не
didn't you?
бунтари,
It's like you
мы
can't even see
суетологи.
reality.
Ага.
We can see our reality just fine. Why should we trust his? I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel.
Наводим суету.
Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
Подойти к
Make your
зеркалу.
way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open it.
Что означает зеркало?
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess. Reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open.
Может быть, зеркало это какая-то подсказка?
And the mirror's gone. Ah, surprise. It was never there. Just an illusion. It feels like it's hiding something from us. It's part of the big picture. I just know it. That's why it's being kept from us. Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat
Бля,
and metallic.
не могу
An
слушать его
unintentional
щёпот.
and
Мне
unfortunately
в позвоночник
ramp
отдает.
that quickly
должно
sends you
быть.
skittering to the bottom.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's toying with us. She's acting like she already knows she's won. Thinking about doubt dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Дар, Тим, такие слова нельзя говорить.
Ок. Понял.
Угу.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once.
Ну а как победить-то
Nothing
ее?
bad has come
Она
of it.
странным ножом нас первый раз зарезала, а тут мы...
На Ютубе было все проще.
Там тоже нельзя это было говорить.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered. The past isn't real. There's only here and now. Your internal bickering is
Блять, у нее теперь два
sound of
меча.
slicing meat.
Сука.
From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us, and I'm out of ideas.
Я попробую с ней профлиртовать. Мы сражаться с ней, и мы будем держать себя в руках. Она не сможет причинить нам вреда, если мы не дадим себе
Беги.
почувствовать. Она победит, убив нас.
Она того.
Сиди, отстой. Придумать что-нибудь получше. Будем апеллировать к ее авторитету, надуем ее немного. Нет никаких причин, по которым мы бороться с ней, очевидно. Придумай что-нибудь получше.
That's right, we just have to think. There's
Убежать
probably an
можешь?
answer if we
Yeah.
think.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room, blades
Плохо.
flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
Она насаживает вас на шампур. Ау.
What a surprise! Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die?
Блять. Надо 500% ускорения этой штуки поставить. Такое долгое, бля. И оно всегда включается не там, где нужно. Потому что происходит только после смерти. Мы умерли?
No, you're in a... Where the
Нет,
hell?
нет, ты где ты что-то находишься.
Dead, aren't we?
Мы мертвы, не так ли?
Dead, dead. How long have we been dead? Have we been dead the whole time? Dead.
Сломленный.
Dead. Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here? This is 4. No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the prince... Okay, whatever we do gets us another... us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her. As long as we keep moving. It's going to get so loud in here. How are we going to keep it all straight?
Come on, show me something new.
Okay, plan. Now.
О, скептик! Скептик пришел.
Можно ударить ГГ.
Нет, мы будем бороться. Апеллировать, безоговорочно дадимся. Бороться! Это не сработает, она убьет тебя снова, и снова, и снова, и снова. Ваша память расплывается, сознание перескакивает из жизни в жизнь, сохраняя лишь отрывочные сведения о происходящем конфликте.
We just have to hit her harder. She skewers you.
Упрямый к нам появился. Она тебя на шампур насаживает.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Well, there's more of us.
Вот больше посмотрим, поможет ли это.
Then you skewer yourself.
И потом ты сам себя нанизываешь на шампур. Почему? Господи, у него что-то там это самое...
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh. That didn't do
Он
much of
руками
anything.
сражается.
We're tougher than I thought.
Не, у меня ножик есть какой-то. Ну вот тоже.
What's the point? It's all the same. She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet.
Какой
You
маленький
gotta
нож.
keep going.
Ну какой есть?
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up. Okay, let's go again. Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman. Skewers you.
You're cute.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah. That was a good one. She's going to kill this body either way. So
У
stop
него есть
feeling
свой
what
замок.
it feels.
Раз замок значит большая дорогая территория, и у него нет оружия получше.
У меня нет своего замка, ты чё? Я даже не знаю, кто я.
She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad. Real
Ты
tough.
британская улыбка.
We're getting close to something, can't you
Так
feel
ты
it?
же сказал, что на замок ГГ напали.
Time.
Нет, ни разу не говорил. Дардим, это самое. Когда я сказал, что на запах ГГ напали. Тут сидит принцесса в подвале, а мне говорят ее убить. Все. Никакого замка ГГ нет.
You're right. One last time, that's all we need. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that.
Оппортунист
I'm
еще.
sure she'll listen to reason.
Господи, что у тебя с...
Skewers you. And then everything goes dark, and you die.
Чаптер 4.
Король Артур на нас напали.
Мутуали Асурит... Что-то там.
Don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and we'll take it from here. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand. Ho-ho! What if we throw it out the window? Over my dead body. That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I like.
Ладно, тогда попытайся с ней пофлиртовать.
Уже 4 глава, тут, скорее всего, такого пункта не будет.
Besides, what better way to
О,
die
этот...
so very many times than at the sharp hand?
Она не очень прекрасна, ты ее улыбку видел?
Sure, I can think of a better way to die. Yeah, they're all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything.
Да, очень
The only
красивая
thing we're gonna
дама.
manifest is finally ending up on top.
И зубы все целы.
Конечно.
There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about... Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time. Narrator, we heroically strive through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover. Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only it's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Наратор.
You're gonna say what she does? Do you want me to talk
Не
now?
сегодня.
Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists.
Ёб твою
Red
мать.
gleams of raw meat as it stretches and tears. Then it erupts. It becomes a wave of blood and viscera. Pieces
Ты
of
такая сделала каминг-аут, так сказать.
In the center of the room is a skeleton of blades.
for what comes next.
Holy shit. She's gorgeous.
Принцесса, а вы случайно не
Absolutely
Зибели?
divine.
Вопросительный знак.
Хуй его знает.
Yes, behold the perfect woman. Do you think we can throw her out?
Да господи, чё же у тебя потребность все время нож в окно выкинуть?
That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs.
Ну, сердце,
This
да.
is fake. This is all
Скинуть себя мы в окно только сможем.
made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in?
Дайте-ка я сохранюсь. Так, на всякий случай.
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing. We're screwed. I quit. I'm done.
Теперь хотя надо сохраниться перед выборами, нахер сохраниться тут-то. О, господи. Опустоши свой разум.
Just happened. It's so quiet.
Он тоже.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
Вы бездействуете, и все же благодаря этому бездействию ваше тело движется само по себе. Принцесса наносит удар, когда вы... Наносит удар, когда вы приближаетесь. Но когда ее удар завершает свою дугу, вы уже находитесь в другом месте. Не знаю. Вы невероятно. Ваше оружие сталкивается снова и снова. Вы и она входите в ритм, свободный от мыслей и от самого себя. Есть только танец, прилив и отлив, смена приливов и отливов между вами. Чем глубже вы погружаетесь в игру, тем быстрее бьются ваши сердца, и тем быстрее импульс проносится между вами. Бесконечно нарастающее крещендо, а затем открытие. Твой клинок наносит свободный удар, и ее клинок тоже наносит удар. Оба удара смертельные, никто из вас не выживет, но никто из вас не боится того, что будет дальше. Это хороший финал. Вы не видите смерти друг друга и никогда не увидите. Пришло время вам уйти. Память возвращается. Подойдите к зеркалу. Так и сделай. Вглядитесь в свое отражение. Молча протяните руку к стакану. К стакану? Пришло время посмотреть, что в нем. Молчание, когда вы тянетесь вперед. Они снова ушли. Зеркало всегда заставляет их уходить. Но ты должен увидеть, что в нем. Ты распутался. Вы снова оказываетесь в долгой тишине. Идти к хижине. Вы в хижине. О, вон он стоит. Подойдите к ней.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Не знаю.
Угадайте, у кого интернет сказал нет?
У тебя. Чё гадать-то? Риторический вопрос. Вы знаете? Вы хотите мне сказать?
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those, I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Есть деревья, звезды, а есть люди. Я думаю, по крайней мере, люди должны быть.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
Как ты думаешь, есть ли там что-нибудь реальное? Как ты думаешь, мы реальны?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Есть ли у вас мысли по поводу этого судна? Судно?
This one is sharp and single-minded. She is cruelty.
А, ну сосуда.
She is also joy. She will make for an indomitable heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be.
Знаете ли вы, что произойдет, когда вы проснетесь?
If I did, I would already be awake.
Перевод немножко слетел. Когда отправили меня обратно, я буду не один. Есть голоса, которые говорят со мной. Некоторые из них — это я, но один из них — нечто иное. Я называю его рассказчиком, и он хочет, чтобы я убил тебя. У вас есть рассказчик? Есть ли он у сосудов? Почему кораблей?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
Да без понятия, кто такой рассказчик. Да, я не знаю точно, но я это точно знаю.
I am on the cusp of my awakening. Perhaps you are on the cusp of yours.
Сколько еще судов мне нужно принести?
One.
Один.
Whatever you bring me next will be enough. And then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular. A final multitude.
Если это последний раз, есть ли что-нибудь, что ты хотел бы, чтобы я принес себе?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to
Атакуй.
see is what you choose for me when the thread is
Не.
fully drawn.
Но, как минимум, я сохранюсь. Если это последняя стадия перед твоим завершением, то я не вернусь, я просто останусь здесь.
You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. I'll wait with you.
Не бывает вечного ожидания.
The next time I see you, each of us will find I will be here, waiting for you.
Все померкнет, и ты умрешь. Герой и принцесса. Чаптер 1.
You're on a path.
Я же говорил, что атакуй.
Нет.
Луль,
Это правильно все делается. Выбор правильный, Дартим. А вот что дальше делать, на самом деле, я пока хз. Даже быстро сохранение нажму. Но мы оставим это на следующий раз. А сейчас я пойду спать. А вот так. Там явно будет большой пласт сюжета, после того, как мы ее соберем до конца. Но надо понять, как получить
наверное.
другие личности, потому что, то есть, смотри, я пока все развилки делал в первой главе, то есть у меня развилка была развернуться и уйти
Надо
нахер,
выбрать ту, что тебе нравится.
потом войти в подвал и зарезать ее, войти в подвал и попробовать с ней поговорить, выкинув нож, войти в подвал без ножа. Итого 4. Раз, два, три, 4. Ну и во второй главе,
А
соответственно,
есть
продолжал.
эта игра на мобилке?
Не, вряд ли. Но это стандартные визуальные новеллы, я, в принципе, хз. Может быть, на мобилке есть. Какой эмулятор всех этих визуальных новелл, потому что, блядь, они все на одном движке работают. Там один движок. Может, кто-нибудь когда-нибудь перенесет, либо есть реальный эмулятор. Не знаю, да.
А название какое у нее?
Slay the Princess. Ну, слушай, в описании стрима ты же видишь. Slay the Princess, все верно. Все верно, я сказал, да. Вот. Как-то так. Все, ребят, я потопал. Спасибо большое, что были со мной на стриме. Спасибо тебе, что посмотришь все это добро в записи. В четверг, наверное. В четверг, наверное, бахнем еще стрим, либо в пятницу. Но в пятницу, правда, у нас будет Dragon's Dogma. Она там на подходе. Или когда она там будет? Когда там Dragon's Dogma выходит?
Спокойной.
22-го. Яп, в пятницу. Ну, до пятницы надо пройти. А что сделаем, мама? Все. Давайте. Спасибо большое, что были со мной. Спасибо, что посмотрели добро в записи. С вами был Фламберг Сим. Увидимся. Ну, на неделе. Когда-нибудь. Чао.